welcome to today's video. So today we are going to talk about whether your brain or your sleep system could be broken if you have insomnia. And if so, what do you do? How do you know if it's broken? And I remember when I had insomnia for 30 years, I felt like I was broken. That's because I tried absolutely everything, including CBTI, 3 rounds of it, and melatonin and sleeping pills and every other supplement out there and CBD, and nothing worked. So I felt broken. Doctors weren't able to help me, naturopaths weren't able to help me, nobody I went to, including Chinese medicine and many other things, were able to help me. So I felt broken. Okay, so let's get into this. I want to start off by saying, of course, you should always go see your doctor, go get sleep tests done, or whatever it may be to help you feel better and realize that there isn't really anything going on. Because here's the thing. You can't break your sleep system. You can't break your brain to stop you from sleeping. Then what the heck is going on? Then why can't I sleep? I've tried everything and nothing is working. So let's talk about this. So I'm going to put a diagram in front of me right here, and it's going to show you the actual root cause of insomnia and why it's not that something is broken. Now, I've used these diagrams in a few other videos, so if you've seen it already, this is a good refresher, but if not, then it's definitely helpful. I recommend understanding this. It's very important. I don't know how many times I can say that. I know I'm repeating myself. By the way, if you hear that rooster crowing in the background, I rescue roosters, and this one's injured, and I have him in the other side of the room, and you can still hear him crowing. Oh, I rescue roosters and hens, not just the roosters, but chickens. I rescue chickens. Just ignore the crowing in the background. Anyway, back to the diagram. As you can see at the very bottom, it starts off with our fear-based thoughts. Anytime we fear something and we're trying to escape it, it triggers our brain to think that there is danger and the fight or flight system is activated. Now, when it comes to insomnia, the way this happens is we start to lose some sleep from like sleep disruption, a lot of stress, or something traumatic happened in our lives, and we lose some nights of sleep, and then we're like, oh my gosh, this can't happen. And we start to fear losing more and more sleep. As we have these nights of little sleep, we're scared, we're worried, we're fearing it, and then we're trying to escape it. And this can be by taking supplements, taking sleeping pills, doing meditations, hypnosis, all these different things to try to make sure you sleep at night. And then you end up losing more sleep, you become even more fearful, and all this fear is triggering that fight or flight system. Your hyperarousal is high and you can't sleep. You lose even more sleep every single time. So technically, if you want to know the root cause of chronic insomnia, you go all the way to the bottom here. The fear-based thoughts. Fearing something is what's going to lead to that brain activating the fight or flight system and preventing you from sleeping. So if you can reduce your fear, bring down the fear, your brain's going to realize you're safe. It's going to think you're safe because you're not fearing something. Yes, we don't want to be awake at night, but if we're fearing it and trying to escape it, your brain's just going to keep thinking there's danger. That is the cycle we need to break. It's not easy, but it works. And that's how you can prevent yourself from ever having insomnia again. Now, before we move on to my tips for helping you teach your brain that you're safe and to go after the root cause, I have a free Insomnia Crash Course where you can learn even deeper and even more about how to show the brain that you are safe and how to go after the root cause. More than I can even go in this video alone. The link is in the description box. Go click it. It's absolutely free. It is my gift for you. So on to the tips. Whenever I have these different topics that I want to teach about, I always have like my top 3 tips for everything. The problem is I never get new tips. It's always the same things every time, and there's lots of other things that help too. So in this video, I'm going to name 3 more tips that I've not discussed a lot in my previous videos. So it's really helpful to watch all my other videos too, so that you can compile on all these tips and strategies so that you can get more sleep. or go watch my free Insomnia Crash Course and get a much better understanding. So let's go ahead and move on to my tips. Have you ever heard of exposure therapy? When you have a really strong fear about something, you slowly expose yourself to it and reduce the fear. You can actually do that when it comes to sleeplessness. When we're scared to be awake at night, just be willing to allow and accept being awake at night. It's really hard, but the more you do that and the more you practice it, the easier it will get to be awake at night. The longer you can just allow being awake at night and not fearing it or trying to escape it, the sooner you're going to teach your brain that you are safe and that you can go to sleep without being in danger. Remember, when your brain is activating the fight or flight system, it doesn't want you to get sleep or get deep sleep. It'll be a very shallow sleep. You wake up easily because it needs you to be able to react in case danger is coming at you. As funny as it sounds, one way you can start to do this is in your mind. Anything that you're fearing, whether it's being awake at night or getting through the next day or the racing mind, anxiety, anything like that, you can go there in your mind first and not actually in person. I know it sounds silly, but you can imagine yourself awake at night. You want to be asleep, you're frustrated, it's sad, it's depressing, you hate this, you want to escape it, you don't want to be there awake, you want to be asleep in bed. Everyone else around you is asleep and you're hearing them sleep and you just want to be asleep too. By starting off practicing it in your mind first, you can start to learn to let go, to surrender, and allow the wakefulness. And allowing it and accepting it does not mean you like it. It just means you're accepting that this is your reality right now. You can't change it in the moment. We can't control our sleep. And that's a big mistake that people make, is they think that we can control our sleep. And sleep is a passive process. So by going into the situation in your mind and practicing surrendering and allowing it, that is a really good start. Now, I have talked a lot about surrendering and letting go, and that brings me on to my next tip, which is to let go of sleep efforts. Any effort to try to make yourself sleep, to try to preserve sleep, to maximize sleep, to increase your chances of sleep is a sleep effort. And sleep efforts are just a way to try to escape being awake. And we don't want our body, or our brain, I should say, to think that we're trying to escape something that we're scared of. If we're trying to escape it, we have fear of it. So the more you can let go of trying to make yourself sleep, the better off you can be. You will be. And one thing to keep in mind is if you're letting go of sleep efforts so that you can get more sleep, that has become a sleep effort. So it needs to be with the intention of, these sleep efforts aren't working. What is the point? Why am I doing them? So you're going to let go. They're not helping me anyway, so what's the point? I might as well stop them. In fact, they're only making me more stressed, more frustrated, increasing my hyperarousal, not making me feel good. So they're kind of pointless. So I might as well let go of the sleep efforts. Now, I know I talked about this in a previous video, 1 or 2 videos ago. The best way to approach it is one at a time. If you're brave, you can do all at once. Just know that it might trigger some sleep loss because you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I just let go of everything. What's gonna happen? Am I gonna sleep? Am I gonna fall asleep soon? Am I gonna be sleepy yet? What's going on? What happens if I don't sleep tonight because I didn't do any of my sleep efforts? How am I gonna get through the next day? This is going to be triggering sleep anxiety. It's going to be triggering more hyperarousal, wakefulness, and you will lose some sleep. But as it becomes more of a norm, becomes more normalized, then you will start to sleep more. By letting go of all these sleep efforts, one by one as you're ready or all at once, this is how you're going to show your brain that you are safe. You're not trying to escape sleeplessness, and you are allowing it to happen. That's not giving up. You're not giving up on sleeping more, ever sleeping again. It's just accepting that right now I can't change the situation, and I'm only creating more struggle in my life by trying to make myself sleep. This is what's going to lead to results and progressing. Now, I wanted to touch on sleep anxiety because when we have chronic insomnia, we all have some level of sleep anxiety. Some people, they don't really feel it that much or realize that they have it. And some people have it really extreme. They have the whole range of anxiety and how intense it is. But when you have it, you have a chronic insomnia, you do have it at some level. And if you are struggling with sleep anxiety, it's really hard to work through, the best approach that you can do is to allow and accept it. Just being awake at night, same exact thing. When your brain thinks there's danger, anxiety is like a signal from your brain that it needs you to be ready to react, to fight, to flee, whatever you need to be. And it can feel really intense. And there are messages from your brain that your brain wants you to receive. And if you try to ignore it, to push it away, to minimize it, force it to go down, then your brain is going to amplify things because it thinks that you aren't listening and it wants you to be safe. Being awake, having this sleep anxiety is actually what your brain is supposed to be doing when there's danger. It's not that your sleep system is broken. It's just your brain trying to keep you safe. So when it comes to the anxiety, allow it to happen. It's really uncomfortable at times. It can be intense, but the more you can practice just allowing it. Just lay there, close your eyes, and feel it. Where in the body do you feel it? Do you feel warmth? Do you feel coolness? Just describe what you're feeling to yourself. Don't try to avoid it. Don't try to make it go down. Just be with it. And then your anxiety will be less intense and it will go away with time. Side note, if it's sleep anxiety, it will go away with time as you get more sleep. You may have general anxiety as well, like I do. So your general anxiety could be something that you have on and off for the rest of your life. However, the way you treat anxiety is the same exact way as we're talking about with sleep and sleep anxiety. I should say sleep anxiety. Same things that you apply to sleep anxiety, you can apply to your general sleep anxiety. But of course, talk to a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm a registered nurse. I'm not your registered nurse or working with your doctor. So go talk. So that is it for today's video. I hope these tips really help you so that you can add them on top of all the other tips that I'm teaching you in these videos and on social media. But of course, if you want to go even deeper, click the link in my description box for my free Insomnia Crash Course. Get a lot of it all in one and really understand what steps that you need to take to overcome insomnia and get the sleep that you so desperately need and want. I am living proof that is possible. Go check it out. Click the link in the description box and I will see you in the next video.